Hey, it's the Midnight Raven, and today we are starting a new series on my channel. So the new series is called The Mystery Files. So if you're not new to my channel, you'll know I do things like cold cases, murders, disappearances, lost people, and today we're going to do mystery files. These are history's unsolved cases of a more sinister nature. What do you think? Sounds good? So if you're new, I'm Midnight Raven. Welcome to my channel. This is how I usually look. This is my usual setting. Today we're looking at the Loch Ness Monster, and this is in the mini-series of the Mystery Files called Strange Sightings. So let's get into this video. So the Loch Ness Monster is a long neck protruding from the water, and part of the body emerges from the water, causing ripples. There are old grainy photos and images showing you of the Loch Ness Monster, and I will put some clips as we go through this video. So the Loch Ness Monster was supposedly found in Scotland's Highlands. Decades of interests have continued to surface in these news stories that followed the sightings. So it had created a phenomenon that would grip the news for years, and many sightings after the initial one continued to surface, building this phenomena that is known as the Loch Ness Monster. So going back to when it first was sighted in the 6th century, we are way going back. So in the 6th century, there had been reports of a creature living beneath the water surface. Give you little chills there. So around the area of Loch Ness, the first sighting was in 565 CE. It was by an Irish monk, St. Columbia, came across the funeral of a local who had been in the river of Loch Ness. He'd been taken below the water surface and had drowned, and St. Columbia, the monk, was supposed to have sent a follower into the river to entice this thing. And on its arrival, the monk crossed himself and ordered it to go no further. The creature then retracted, and the monk had his miracle. But it wasn't until the 19th century that more sightings began and more rumours began to surface. One sighting was in 1871 by a young man named D. Mackenzie. He had seen something wriggling and churning up the water. Then in 1888, Alexander MacDonald reported a salamander-like creature was seen near the water surface. Then again in the 1930s, coming up to more present day, the creature's existence began to grab the public's attention. Back in the day, people were just thinking that people were crazy to think that there was this great big snake monster creature living in some water. People thought people were crazy. People thought people were drunk and seeing these sightings, And then in 1993, Mr. and Mrs. Spicer reported something that likened to a dragon or a monster slipping into the water. See what I mean? You'd say people are crazy, wouldn't you? So the story ran in Scottish papers. They then came up with a picture that had been taken by the witnesses. Robert Wilson in 1934 also had a black and white supposed picture of old Loch Ness showing this monster. It was of poor quality and it showed a head with a long neck and had the name dubbed Nessie. The picture featured in the paper made monster hunters, tourists, and every scientist in the world flock to Loch Ness to try and get a glimpse of this supposed water monster. So the papers had featured the Loch Ness picture, and then over the decades in 1954, a sonar was put in the water and it conducted by a small crew who noted something of substantially size had kept around the boat. Pictures were published of two black humps in the water. And again, it was grainy, it was black and white. Would be the question. To this day, people are still searching and arguing over the monster, and it still attracts millions and millions of tourists every year to try and collect just a glimpse of Nessie. So, sonar expeditions have continued right up until 2018, and people love a good mystery, but not finding any existence of a creature. And as far as the photos go, many of them were grainy, dark, and nothing really gave any real evidence. But they did make the headlines, it made for news, it helped tourism because people now flock to Loch Ness every year. So there are many theories that went with this supposed monster. Had it been a publicity stunt? Had they faked the Loch Ness picture to get to see if people would come and be interested and create some huge tourism boom to the area? Why not? If someone told you there was a great big monster living in the water, you're gonna go see it. And then people would stay in the area, it would hit the headlines, so then Loch Ness would become more popular and it would build tourism. People for many years have just called this a publicity stunt to get tourism up there, to get people up there, to make the area more interesting. And you know what? If it was a publicity stunt, it worked wonders because millions of tourists from all over the world, not just in the UK, will flock to see if they can get a picture of Nessie. And Nessie became a big phenomenon, from it just being hearsay to stories to folk tales to now grainy pictures to supposed sightings. But still, Nessie has not been found. There hasn't been a corpse found, maybe, or a skeleton found of Nessie, because obviously she wouldn't have lived infinitely. The sightings over the years became less and less, but does that mean that Nessie never existed? Possibly not. Maybe she did exist. Maybe it was a publicity stunt. There is no concrete evidence to suggest either story. We have grainy pictures of a monster, we have stories of people seeing it, but we don't have nothing like definite. If someone could have got, which probably wouldn't have happened back in the day with it being technology and that, an actual video, as we would say nowadays, of this thing happening, it would have been more believable. If someone had a video of this Loch Ness monster swimming in the water, people would have believed it. But a grainy, darkened, shadowy figure in a water on a photo, people are going to be skeptical. So the photos made Loch Ness famous, and it has never failed to intrigue the public's interest. People flock from all over the world year after year after year, and people sometimes to this day still say that they can see Nessie, but like I said, there are no videos of Nessie. There's no concrete evidence that Nessie even existed, let alone is swimming in there today. Are Nessie's ancestors in Loch Ness? We don't know. There's no evidence once again. But is it a great story to tell your children? Is it a great story to build tourism? Absolutely. People love nothing more than a mystery, and people love nothing more than a monster. So this is Strange Sightings, the Loch Ness Monster. I hope you enjoyed this case. This is the new mystery file cases that I'm doing in this little mini series on my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below your thoughts and theories on Nessie and the Loch Ness Monster. If you want to support the channel, consider a PayPal, a super chat, or become a member for extra videos. This is the Mystery Files Strange Sightings, the case of the Loch Ness Monster, and I will see you very soon for another video. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye guys.